Question number 7, Stuart Smith.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. To the Minister for Social Housing, how will the Ministry of Social Development's social housing purchasing strategy lead to better outcomes for tenants?
Mr Speaker.
Honourable Paula Bennett.
Mr Speaker, an important part of the government's social housing reforms is the Ministry of Social Development's new role as the purchaser of social housing places. MSD is already conducting a social housing purchasing trial in both West and South Auckland that provides community housing providers and Housing New Zealand with information about who needs a house and where, so they can offer people houses and services that meet their needs. This will lead to more choice for tenants, Mr Speaker. It means that it is all about them and their needs, not necessarily about the Housing New Zealand home that may be in the wrong place and the wrong size.
Supplementary.
Order. Supplementary question, Stuart Smith.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. What kinds of tenancies will MSD be able to purchase for people?
Mr Speaker.
Honourable Paula Bennett.
The whole idea of the purchasing strategy is that it will allow the Ministry of Social Development to purchase a variety of tenancies that will suit the unique needs of the individual. They could, for example, purchase a short-term place for a man coming out of prison with a community provider that specialises in drug and alcohol issues to help him reintegrate and then to move to independence. For a single mum leaving a violent relationship, it might be that they secure a 10-year tenancy that means she's getting a wraparound service over a long period of time, and that member, if ever needs it, should knock on the door and we might look for him as well. It's okay.
Order.
I hear your need.
Order. Point of order, Phil Twyford.
Mr Speaker, the Minister has referred to an official document in her answer. Can I ask that the document be tabled, please?
I just need to clarify, was the Minister was using a official document?
No, I don't think I did.
Was not.
Point of order, sir?
Speaker, well...
But another point of order?
A fresh point of order, Phil Twyford.
The Minister, both the primary question and the Minister's answer refer to the Ministry of Social Development social housing purchasing strategy. I would ask that that document be tabled.
No, order. The member needs to understand. If the member was there, if the Minister was quoting as she gave an answer from an official document, the member can ask for that to be tabled. On this particular occasion, order. On this particular occasion, the Minister may well have referred to a development within her ministry, but she wasn't using it in the House. She does not have to table it. Supplementary question, Stuart Smith.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. How will the strategy help grow the community housing sector?
Honourable Paula Bennett.
In order for tenants to get better services, the community sector will need to grow. The sector currently provides about 6% of social houses. And as we know, Labor supports this policy, as we heard from them in the past, that they are committed to the community housing sector having access to income-related rent subsidies, to capital grants and stock transfer. We heard Phil Twyford himself say that we need, particularly in our bigger centres, large-scale urban developments backed by private sector developments and community housing organisations. This is all about that strategy of providing more for tenants and focusing on their needs. Well, it's just great that you agree.
Question number 8, the Honourable Phil Goff.
Mr Speaker,